Shalom. Kahal Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Akakwadash. Double honor to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them, that taught us his truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word and truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect, tabernacle of David. All right, so we're just keeping up with proceedings, all right, and bringing more clarity to exactly what's going on. And I watched the brother Yashawamba of the Dallas camp, watched a video, and he played a snippet of call for an uprising, or now he didn't change his or channel name or whatever. But I went back and I watched the whole thing. I think he had a snippet, and it's we're gonna watch that and maybe another video or maybe two, just to bring things into perspective to clarify. All right, he had a very, I think he did like a in the news, so he had a lot of topics, but this is focused in on the direction or what this devil is using to take his next step in his endeavor. All right, so with that, this is Matthew 12 and 26, because this is what we're watching right now. And if Satan cast out Satan, his word is adversary, Satan, not the spiritual demon, Satan, but our adversary is Esau, this red devil, if you will. He is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? Okay? And that's what we got by these maggots going up against the FBI, if you will. Right? These are Esau's organizations. MAGA is an organization of Esau, and the FBI is definitely, except for the spook who sat by the window. All right, and that's a little inside joke. Anyway, Young's literal translation. And if the adversary doth cast out the adversary, who was Israel's adversary? Esau, the so-called white man, the devil, the original red man, the guy with the horns on his head. So what are we looking at? Well, we're looking at the downfall of his kingdom, because he has to demonize himself, right? And on a greater level, Vlad Putin is the devil too. All right, what are they doing fighting against each other? Or is that real? Okay, because what this guy is going to say, this call for an uprising, or whatever he calls himself now, he's going to go deeper, which a lot of people can't go that deep. This guy's on point. He goes deeper to say that, well, Trump is in on it. Okay, he's just playing his role, bringing in the NWO. His role right now is to fall on his sword and go down, all right, and sacrifice his followers, if you will, so that they can be scapegoated. Some laws get passed, and then they're able to come after the men of the Lord. That's really what's going on. See, now, call for an uprising, he can't go that deep. That's only the men of the Lord can go all the way to the bottom of the well, if you will. All right, so this is Luke 11 and 18, same thing. If Satan also be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand? All right, because you say that I cast out devils through Beelzebub. So this is Satan being divided, right? Divided is that word. The other one said cast out, but he's divided. All right, we're about to watch their master scheme. See that? And another thing that Call said, he said that the FBI is trying to destroy itself. They want to destroy all of Babylon. Okay? so that they can bring order out of chaos. They want this chaotic situation to happen, and then try to rise the phoenix out of the ashes. All right, that American bald eagle is a substitute for the phoenix, if you understand. Okay, so this is a time for judgment, which is a call for an uprising. All right, August 12th. Today is the 18th, I believe. So this is, maybe a week ago now. But see, this Trump thing, it started when they ran up on his pad, right? That was the start of this phase. This is the next phase of their plan to what? Divide and conquer. Wake up America. Go back here real quick. What is this word? If Satan is divided against himself, how can his kingdom stand? What are they doing? They're the next phase of their plan to divide. So what does this mean? This means that his kingdom is fallen. He believes that this is the way to give his kingdom extended life. But the Most High, he can't. This devil can't go past the bounds or the time that the Most High has in store. All right, so let's watch this. And I am going to play the intro, because the intro is on point. You should see that. And then it goes into some news clippings, and then he'll start talking. So, and I'm gonna watch a good portion of it. Then I have another video that brings what happened a week ago, brings it up to where we're at today. So let's watch this.
Open your eyes.
That's where it's going. All right, it is going there, according to the scriptures.
If you are wondering why everything going on in the world feels so terribly off, then you have come to the right place. A veil has been put over the eyes of humanity. Evil people in high places have been hiding the truth in plain sight and building a false reality on lies and deception for far too long. And now, their time is coming to an end. It's time to fight back, to wake up, and to begin an uprising. Now is a time for judgment.
And we are in the time of judgment, right? So this guy is doing a whole lot of work for me. So I'm gonna just let the video play.
Speaking of that search of the former president's Florida home, it has angered many of his supporters, including a man who tried to force his way into an FBI field office in Cincinnati yesterday. Police say the man was armed. After a car chase, he was shot and killed. Social media posts thought to be from the suspect show he may have been motivated by the search of Mar-a-Lago. Senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herridge has more.
The situation began around 9 a.m. Thursday when the suspect, wearing body armor and carrying a nail gun and long gun, tried to breach the FBI's visitor screening center in Cincinnati. Sources tell CBS News the suspect is Ricky Schiffer. The FBI says agents confronted the suspect before he fled, leading to a car chase.
The pursuit came to an end and he stopped his vehicle. When he got out, that's when shots were exchanged between officers and the suspect.
After an hours-long standoff, law enforcement officials say they shot and killed the suspect.
Situations like today are unfortunate. They're unfortunate for a community. They're unfortunate for those involved in it.
After the FBI searched Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home Monday, posts believed to be from the suspect encourage people to go to Palm Beach, where Trump's estate is located, and kill federal agents if they get in the way.
That's classic Satan against Satan right now. They set this thing up perfectly, and now they're going to take it to the next level.
And kill federal agents if they get in the way. Additional posts that appear to be from the same man claim he was at then-President Trump's January 6th speech on the Ellipse.
We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
And later at the Capitol as the riots unfolded. Thursday morning, a user with the same name as the suspect posted, "If you don't hear from me, it is true. I tried attacking the FBI." Earlier this week, FBI Director Christopher Wray condemned calls for violence against Bureau agents.
Any threats made against law enforcement, including the men and women of the FBI, are deplorable and dangerous.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Catherine Herridge in Washington.
This is a time for judgment. Welcome to today's show. I was going to originally put this video.
Do not buy solar panels.
Salakia, bear with me on this commercial.
And record this video for the website, but I decided I'm going to try to do this on YouTube because I think people out there need to understand what's happening, especially young people who might see this stuff and think it's real and then...
Now listen closely to what he says, because he's going to break it down. You know, the only thing that he doesn't know is that they're not coming after him. They're coming after the men of the Lord. All of this is a smokescreen so that they can put legislation in place to come after us. He's going to say that too, but you got to know who the Most High is dealing with. He's dealing with the men of the Lord. And this devil, he knows that. The devil's at the top. They know who their problem is. And it's not Call, all right? It's not this guy. It's us putting it all together all the way to the bottom. So
need to understand what's happening, especially young people who might see this stuff and think it's real and then actually know beforehand it's going to happen so they could realize that it is all scripted, because the writing was on the wall the second these stories came out about Donald Trump and Mar-a-Lago and the FBI raid and then the reaction between the left and the right. These things are all obviously scripted. And then you could guess beforehand when this stuff happens, or I should say, you can guess beforehand when this occurred, what was going to happen next. And I can't put the articles up on the screen because of the words, the algorithm will get triggered. But I know a lot of you just listen to these videos a lot of the times, like their podcasts. So I'll put pictures of what's relevant to the topic, but I can't put the actual articles. But I'm sure a lot of you heard about what happened at the FBI yesterday at one of the FBI offices in Ohio. Apparently a guy went in there armed to go after the FBI. His motive? Because the FBI went and raided Donald Trump. Could you make it up? I mean, who didn't see this coming, right? The second that this stuff happened in Florida, this was the first thing I think anybody who was awake was thinking about, that they're going to start taking these government agencies like the FBI, the CIA, and the IRS, which I'll get into, and using them as targets for MAGA. This is going to continue to create this illusion that people who are Republican are terrorists and extremists and are no longer a part of this country. And this, of course, will lead to more of the civil war, which will eventually occur, which will eventually cause these states or territories, everything will be divided, everything will be changed.
and MAGA's walking straight into it with a blindfold on, blindly following their cult leader who is selling them completely out. It's real clear and easy to see. But, these things have to happen before we can get to the end. So
that's what this is really about. That's why they're doing this. So as soon as the thing happened with Trump in Florida, this guy decides to go. So then you get the other narrative, which if you've listened to me for a while, I always bring this narrative up, especially over on the website. And that's the narrative about what's occurred beforehand with the guy who apparently went to the FBI headquarters. He was posting on his social media platform encouraging violence against the agency. Surprise, surprise, Sydney, right? Who didn't see this narrative coming? This is about censorship, of course, and then giving them more power and control over what people post online. Because
and who do they want to censor? They want to stop this truth from coming out because it's reaching the four corners of the planet Earth. And they're hurt by that. They know that if they can shut us down, or they think they know, that they might be able to hold on to what they got. So, and they're trying to do it without revealing what they're actually up to. So this is all part of their plan.
This is all about gaining control. They create these false events to give them a reason to say, we have to take more control. The people ask for it. They come in and that's what they want in the end, is to have the control. They want to make sure that the people are asking for it, and they are. Because people are going, well, what can we do about this? If people are going to post on social media encouraging violence, then we need to have more censorship online. Exactly.
And the men of the Lord are not doing that. Now, what we're saying is what the scriptures say is going to happen. That's all we're doing. And they know. They know what the scriptures say. So we're not the problem. It's going to happen anyway. We're not the problem, but they're going to try to make us the problem.
That censorship fits, inside of a box, right? Because you could define censorship and say, well, I mean, we'd all agree if somebody was online saying that they wanted to go and commit a violent crime, that they should, the police should probably come to their door. But that's not what this is about. This is about obviously taking that and then stretching it so that they can look at people like me and you who are just expressing our free speech and saying that that's also dangerous and also violence because it can provoke it. And then it continues to filter down, the same as hate speech, where they want to bring in, and redefine what hate speech is. Anybody could say that something's hate speech. Somebody could say that I'm crazy. Couldn't I define that as hate speech?
Or that what it clearly says in the Bible is hate speech. When the Most High says that he hates Esau, they're going to say, oh, well, that's hate speech. No, that's what it says in the Bible. All right? And we're going to stand on it.
He's a crazy conspiracy theory. Oh, well, it really hurts my feelings. It makes me really depressed. So couldn't I, I could say that and then say that it's hate speech. Obviously, I wouldn't, but who can? Anybody could, but it's just their definition of what hate speech is, their definition of what dangerous is. And anything that's dangerous to them only has to do with people who are questioning what they're doing and exposing what they're doing, which is
what we're doing. Okay, so this goes on and on. This is a week ago, so this is the early part of what they're doing. Now we're going to fast forward to today or yesterday and where this thing has grown to in a week. All right, so let's get that. All right, because where are they going with this? See, these Trumpers, they want to protect Trump, right? That's what they want to do by going after the FBI or whoever ran up on him, which was the FBI. But here's where this thing is now. Okay, so this is idiot David Pack.
You guys know how it is when you buy a new Mac.
Slovakia. Let me cue this up.
The assassination conspiracy theory, by the way.
Okay, do you hear what he called it? All right, now, where does the phrase conspiracy theory, meaning what it means today, where did that come from? Damn right, assassination. Who got assassinated? The president. What president? JFK. That's where the term conspiracy theory was birthed, if you will. Now, never lose sight that Donald J. Trump was the president. Okay? And understand this. Okay? Here's how you diagnose these things. All right? Here's how you look into them. What happened to JFK? Well, the deep state, if you will, who was the head of the CIA at the time? Daddy Bush. Okay? So who had JFK assassinated? Daddy Bush. Okay? When you understand, right? Why did they assassinate JFK? Because he wasn't doing what he was being told to do. He was going against what he agreed to do. Why they put him in the office in the first place. Okay? When you go against the whatever, the alliance that you made, they will put you down. This is how they get down. All right? Prince. Why is that nigga dead? Because of drugs? No, because he was going against the agreement that they made. Michael Jackson, same thing. You can't go on and say Tommy Mottola's the devil and I'm smarter than they are and go against the alliance that you made from the time you was a little boy. You can't do that. What will they do? They will put you down. Now, this video is about the assassination of Donald Trump. Okay? Now, is Donald Trump still alive? He is still alive. Okay? Why? Because he's doing what they're telling him to do. If he was going against anything, his ass would have long been dead. You understand? And the example is JFK. They will put your ass to death if you go against them in any way. Now, Trump is still alive, meaning he ain't went against them yet, and he ain't going against them. He's playing his role. That's why he's going to be left alive. Now, they are going to say, oh, well, they're going to assassinate him. That's the next step in what started with them raiding his home. It's going to infuriate the maggots. Okay? Now, this kind of talk right here, okay, about assassinating their God is going to infuriate them even more. So can you see what is going on? This is going to jumpstart what has already been taking place for the last week. All right? Talk about assassinating this guy, right? Which they could stage the whole thing, right? But on the deepest level, we know that this guy is an actor, all right? The greatest reality TV show star before he became the president and playing that role. Zelensky's doing the same thing. He's a comedian. He's an actor. He plays in movies. Okay? Got his SAG card or whatever. And they put him in the office to play the role of the president. That's what they did with him. This dude's just playing his role. Now they're talking about assassination, killing him. Can you imagine? They ran up on his house while he wasn't there. Can you imagine if they faked his death or said that somebody's trying to take his life? What are the maggots going to do? They're going to do what they do. And this is the overall plan. All right? Now, listen as they noise this abroad about what the next phase is.
Assassination conspiracy theory, by the way, continues. This started last week after the FBI search warrant was carried out at Mar-a-Lago against Donald Trump's at Donald Trump's house. And very quickly thereafter, you started hearing from some individuals that this is the first step in a plot to assassinate Donald Trump. Some would say that it's a deep state plot. Others said it's just a plot. We now have yet another one of these, and this time it's Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani, and this is not Rudy Giuliani on your screen, by the way. This is, I guess, the interviewer. Rudy Giuliani now believes that Donald Trump is in danger, that the deep state may kill him. Incredible. Listen to this.
Said something before in third world countries and banana republics, they arrest the former opponent, or they kill him.
They kill him, they arrest him, they put their families in jail.
Donald Trump should be in any fear of the deepest of deep state, maybe killing him?
I do.
I do. The deep state, this might all be part of the deep state planning to kill Trump.
Well, at least putting him in jail. In many different ways, I do. I mean, the amount of hatred generated toward him is the kind of hatred we worry about that would set off a sick person. I agree. I mean, if there is anything to the fact that...
Now, Rudy is right about one thing. Sick people, as he calls them, can be set off, but if anything, they're going to be set off by Trump and others weaponizing a legal action by the FBI. That's illegal, not illegal. A legal action by the FBI.
You see the level of division that they're sowing right now? Okay? The division is palpable. And it ain't going nowhere. The Most High is raising it up. He's turning it up. Most High is turning up.
And saying that it's the FBI that must be abolished. It's the DOJ that must be abolished. It's Merrick Garland who's the wrongdoer. That's the stochastic terrorism here. Now, just as a reminder, a lot of people are jumping on the assassination bandwagon. Here is Steve Bannon. This was last week.
And I agree. I do not think it's beyond this administrative state and their deep state apparatus to actually try to work on the assassination of President Trump.
Okay, and all we got to do is go back in history. JFK, that's what they do. Okay? If you ain't on board with the apparatus, they will put you to death. It's been proven. Now, is Trump against them? No. Trump is on board.
I think everything's on the table. I think his security ought to be at the highest it's ever been. And honestly, I think he ought to, and I think he should have flown down to Mar-a-Lago this morning, walked out there.
So Steve Bannon jumping on the bandwagon. This could be part of the deep state assassination plot. And then also a guy named Bernie Kerik, a very, very extensive criminal record. Has
You threw that in there. You see that? You see how the devil works? You talk about Bernie. Bernie's opinion doesn't matter because because he's a criminal.
Kerik, a very, very extensive criminal record, has Bernie Kerik, also doing the assassination conspiracy theory.
And I just put out a tweet about this. If you remember back in 2016, when right before he got elected, I was in Washington, D.C. I was at a couple different social events, and I heard people talking. They said the Democrats want this guy so bad that they wouldn't put assassination behind it. And I'm going to tell you something. They've tried impeachment. They've tried another impeachment. They've tried one investigation after another. This is about one thing. This is about stopping him from running in 2024. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm not into conspiracies.
Right.
I'm not
But
into
here's one.
the anti-government rhetoric. This is the first time in my lifetime that I would say I am deathly afraid for Donald Trump. I would not put assassination behind these people.
So do you see how they're setting this up? This kind of talk, right? And putting it on the television, on the internet, and pushing it like that. What is that doing to the maggots? All right. If it's true what they say about them attacking FBI buildings and stuff like that. We could go down in the comment section and look at some of the things that are in this guy. Everybody's in favor of this guy, Pacman. And this dude is a shill. All right.
Now, the main thing, with a lot of these conspiracy theories, we start getting into, is there motive? Is it possible to carry it out? Why would it, et cetera, et cetera. I genuinely have not heard one reasonable answer to the question. If there were a deep state assassination plot against Donald Trump, why would they need to do a legal FBI search warrant at his home?
To noise it abroad, to rile up his followers, his cult. Okay? So enough, all right? Enough with all of this. This is where we are in this saga with Trump and them actually running up on his home. That was the start. This is where we are now. Now they're threatening to assassinate. They're stirring up what will become, right, the second Civil War, the race war, all of that. So let's just get that. I know I went long. Let's get that on the way out. Isaiah 19. And we're going to keep doing this. All right? If it's the same thing over and over, it is what it is. Isaiah 19:2. I'll read it in the Berean. So I will incite, that's the Most High. I will incite Egyptian against Egyptian. Brother will fight against brother, neighbor against neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. The Most High is doing this, all right? And we're watching it, okay? Isaiah 19:2 in the NLT. I will make Egyptian fight against Egyptian. The Egyptians are the Babylonians, or Babylonian the Greats, if you will, or the Americans. 11. Not 111. 11. All right, is it 14? Oh, 11 and 8, Slovakia. Revelation 11 and 8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. What great city? Babylon the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So Babylon the Great, which is America, is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. All right? So it's talking about here. What about here? this about here. I will make Egyptian fight against Egyptian. That's the Civil War. That's the race war. And we're seeing them pit both sides against each other right now. All right? Brother against brother. Okay, that's Esau against Esau. That's Esau against Jacob. Okay. All right, so with that, that's enough. I know I went long. We hope that the elect were edified. Just keep watching. We're watching this thing unfold. All we got to do is sit back, get your popcorn, stay prayed up, keep the laws, push the word. We're almost out of here. With that, we hope that the elect were edified. You brothers and sisters, with that, shalom.